It is mid-afternoon at this point on Saturday the 16th, and I have had such a relaxing day so far, in sort of contrast to the chaos of yesterday. I did wake up at 5 a.m. I went to bed at like 9, so maybe I just got enough sleep, or maybe my body is just that used to waking up at 5. But I felt pretty rested, and I had a very slow morning. I woke up with more motivation to get back into some of my regular tasks. So I did some exercise, I painted my nails this really cool like burgundy color. I thought about adding some silver sparkles to them, but I decided to leave them classic burgundy as they were. If I get bored tomorrow, or if they start to chip really early, maybe I'll add some sparkles to them. I did some other stuff too. I'm sort of looking over to the side trying to figure out from my to-do list what I've done. I started asking around for people's addresses to send holiday cards to, so some of my friends have started sending me their addresses, and then early next week I can do holiday cards. And I also read the Writer's Almanac online, which I haven't done in a really long time. I used to do it every day. It is a literary themed sort of day-by-day mini podcast. They're 5 minutes long, put out by Garrison Keillor, who is a radio host. They're not actually running anymore, but so every day what it posts is just sort of a rerun of that day however many years ago. But I still like to listen to it anyway. It's very soothing. It kind of grounds me in the day. And I actually learned some cool things from today's Writer's Almanac. I thought I'd share a couple of them with you. So I learned that in and shortly after the First World War in Britain, there were psychologists who would prescribe their patients who were traumatized from being soldiers in the First World War Jane Austen novels to read, because it said that those novels were really good at reorienting them to the world that they had known before the war, which I think is such a cool fact. Like, that is incredible. I also found out from today's Writer's Almanac that Oliver Cromwell called ivy, mistletoe, and holly, the sort of Christmas greenery, the ungodly branches of superstition. So I would like to remind everybody to be sure to hang your ungodly branches of superstition this holiday season, just for Oliver Cromwell. I also had my advent calendar tea this morning, which was like a ginkgo tea. It was very mild, which was very pleasant. I liked that. I got breakfast from IHOP because I wanted something simple. And for lunch, I just had a salad and some egg noodles with gravy. I wanted something small because I had my IHOP breakfast fairly late in the morning. And I know that I'm gonna have an early dinner because once I get to DC, I'm gonna need to have dinner in order to get to my concert in time. I'm leaving for DC as soon as my video for yesterday finishes finalizing. It's taking a little while to do that, but I'm packing my bag, and I will probably head out here around, I don't know, 4:30 or so, which means I'll get there just after 5, check into the hotel, grab some dinner. Doors open at 6:30 for my concert. I'll probably get there sometime between 6:30 and 7, and the concert is at 8. So this is my hotel room. I'm staying at a hotel called the Pendry in DC. This is a king room. Bed looks like that. It's got a TV. It's got a mini bar that I have no plans to use. And then it's got these fancy little doors. And through these doors is a cute bathroom. Right there. So here's what I'll say about this hotel on the basis purely of first impressions. I think that it is a very nice hotel. It's definitely, you have to remember, I paid about twice as much for this room as I've ever paid for any hotel room in my life. So definitely this is a higher end hotel. That's reflected in the pricing, and to some extent it is reflected in, like, you know, the service and everything as well. What you see around you does look very nice. I do think it's not my vibe. Again, that's not that there's anything wrong with it, just like, you know, I look around and I'm like, I'm not sure this is like my ideal in a way, but then again, like a smaller hotel would be more my ideal. I'm a person who stays at like Hampton Inns and is perfectly happy there, so a higher end hotel in general might just not be my thing, but it might have to have kind of a different aesthetic to it to be my thing. I think it is also, like many high-end or luxury things, slightly overpriced. You're paying largely for location and for the breadth and depth of amenities which you might not actually use. So I might use the in-room dining, like tomorrow when I get breakfast, I might get room service breakfast instead of going downstairs. But there's a lot of other amenities here, and I would say that that I wish I was staying longer so I could use them, but the truth is that I probably wouldn't use them anyway. But I think those features are what go into the pricing of the hotel. So you're sort of paying for the opportunity to access those, which feels like a waste if you don't actually end up using them. So I'm glad that I'm staying in town tonight. I'm glad I didn't use their parking garage, because their parking garage was like 25% more expensive than the parking garage I parked in right next to it. But there was, like, even though I'm glad that I'm staying here tonight and I am going to go right across the street for my concert and I can just come back here and crash, I think this is not going to be one where I'm like, ooh, I'm going to stay here, you know, regularly and come downtown to do this, because, you know, it is very expensive. I'm lucky that I can afford it, and, you know, I would want it to be more my style, more my aesthetic. Again, though, not a critique of it by any means. It's a very nice hotel, and I'm sure I'm going to have a great stay. Back from the concert. I've got yesterday's video uploading right here to post tonight, and the concert was incredible. Literally like one of the highlights of the last few months. It was so good. Melinda Kathleen Reese is so talented. The energy in the room was just like I really felt like I was among my kind of people. You just got the sense that you were surrounded by nerds, first of all. But also just by people who, you know, were very kind and loved folk and loved Celtic and loved Melinda. And it just was like, it was such a nice night. Union Stage is a cool venue. It has that kind of feel of a basement venue. So you go in and then you go down from the tap room into this little like black box basement venue, and there are some tables, but then there's a lot of standing room in the back, which is where I was. And it's just like everyone there was so nice, everyone there was so helpful, and of course, because I'm sort of, you know, old now, I was happy that it was a 90-minute show and I was back in my hotel getting ready to get in my PJs by like 10 p.m. There was a lot of audience participation too, which was really fun. The only thing I wish had been different was it seemed like Melinda was not going to come out afterwards to say hi. I could see the other members of the band cleaning up on the stage, but she didn't come out. There didn't seem to be a stage door to meet her at. I've actually met her once before because I saw her in a production and then a staged reading at the local theater that I'm a subscriber for. And the time that she was in the sort of staged choral reading, a friend of mine was also in that production. So I stayed after to see him and got to sort of meet her by default. But I wanted to say hi to her again, but I think I saw her family go backstage. I'm pretty sure I know what her family looks like from like social media. But eventually they just told those of us who were waiting around that they had to clear out the house, so we all just kind of left. But that was the only disappointment, honestly. Everything else has been spectacular. And now I'm back in the hotel. I am freshly showered in my pajamas. Video is uploading. Everything is going well. I'm probably going to read and then go to bed probably sometime in the next 15 minutes. So here's my exciting milestone of the day. I got room service for the first time. So I've already poured my tea. They gave me an extra tea bag, so you bet your butt I'm taking that home with me. I know for people who've ordered room service, this is not new, but I love that they put a little plant on it. I think that's adorable. They gave me all this bread for my toast. I thought they were going to give me like 2 toasts. And then I got eggs and bacon and potatoes. I thought about getting avocado toast, but then I felt like I wanted this more. I think I just wanted the potatoes. And I have little jams and butters. Oh, and a little hot sauce. I didn't notice the tiny hot sauce. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, I love this. I'm gonna eat this.